So this is a video just to share with you the on-demand hot water heater, hot water recirculating system, and radiant floor heating system that we've recently installed in our house. A year ago, this started by wanting to replace our conventional hot water heater, which is just above in the utility closet. I wanted to get rid of it, partly for the inefficiency of it and partly to create some added space in an otherwise fairly small house. So we had this on-demand Norritz system installed immediately below it in this little utility shed that I have underneath my house, which is actually built on stilts. So this was installed, but then was just a little disappointed with how long it was taking the hot water to get to the taps throughout the house. And we were doing some other renovations, so I was able to install a return line just from the far end of the house and bring it down in here through this recirc pump, such that I now have a recirculating hot water system. So I have basically on-demand hot water everywhere in the house. But this pump doesn't run all the time. It's connected up to this Wi-Fi receiver here, and there's some motion sensors in the house that trigger that. And when they sense motion, it turns on this pump, and this pump will run until the return temperature coming back there is above 95 degrees, at which point it shuts off, and then it'll turn back on again as it cools down. But it keeps the hot water at the taps throughout the house pretty much on demand, warm whenever there's people walking around in the house. Because the house is up on stilts, it does get a little cold floor, quite a cold floor in the wintertime. So found a company that provides do-it-yourself radiant floor heating system kits. So then installed the rest of this and just finished getting it going. So here's the deal. The cold water used to come through the supply down into this on-demand. And then the hot would come out and then head on up into the house. Well, you can see we've spliced into those. So now the cold water comes in, drops down into the system, and then through this pump and up through the manifold here, where it then goes through the floor tubing, 5 circuits throughout the house, and it returns, comes on down. There's a pressure relief valve there, a drain valve, a pressure gauge, and then on back up into the input of the cold water into the heater. The hot water comes out, and I've got the boiler now set to 140 degrees. So it comes out and it comes in, and so then that hot water recirculates through the floor to provide nice warm floors. But there's also this metering valve here, which is set to 120, so that the hot water that heads on up into the house is a little cooler than the 140. So this has been installed now and working amazingly well, and nice toasty warm floors, nice warm house, nice warm water at all the different taps, and all from one on-demand hot water heater.